This week, we transition from the listen along of season 0 to the listen along of season 1, and we have a lot about that, and also talk about continuing behind the scenes production stuff, along with a little snippet of my life. That's everything that's coming in this episode, but first, a message to our heroes. Hey everyone, if you're hearing this quick message, you're in the public version of TABTA. Right now in the Heroes of Edera version, I am chatting with them, thanking them for supporting the series and help keep the lights on while we're so small, and sharing little songs and stories and behind the scenes stuff. So if you guys want access to that and to support the series, help keep the lights on while we're still a small little shop, you can check us out on patreon.com/7th Valkyrie, that's 7THVALKYRIE, and learn more. Anyway, on into the show. Hey everybody, and welcome to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure with the 7th Valkyrie, where we watch one series go from total obscurity to maybe 7 seasons of a movie, or maybe we'll just find the power of friendship along the way. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the 7th Valkyrie, and it's great to have you guys listening. First, let's get into the week in 7th V content. This week, for the first time in a while, we actually won't have an updated episode dropping, since we just finished the Season 0 listen-along, and we're in sort of a transition. We've got a sort of announcement and transition episode coming out on Friday. And that's what I was going to mention. On Friday, we'll talk about what's coming up with the Season 1 listen-along, which will come out slightly differently because of the difference in Season 1's format. And then a week today, we're back with TABTA. So that's what you guys got coming up if you're a public listener. And again, heroes, you have that ahead of schedule. As for what's going on behind the scenes of 7V, shout out again to our heroes. I was talking to them, having a little bit of a pre-TABTA therapy session. Just needed to get a little bit of the weight off my chest. Been a busy and crazy start to the year for all of us. But you guys, heroes, will also know that you have the first 2 hours of the reimagined Season 1, as well as the first 5 episodes of the Season 1 listen-along in your Patreon right now, accessible. In addition to... So that's one thing. In addition to that, I had my meeting with my guy Jota, who does work on SEO and discovery stuff. So we're excited to explore how we can make 7th V easier to find for people around the world. Might be also able to find a way to save some money on web hosting. And in production terms, we've got another 2+ hours of content in production with Big Z over in Serbia, and I'm working hard to get all of my work clients into a more consistent spot in my schedule so I can keep carving out time to write. As for what's been going on with me in my personal life, as you could hear from before, I'm a little worn out, but we're moving on through, kind of reaching the steady mid-January slog where you're kind of all the momentum of good intentions and new stuff comes up against reality, and you have to kind of pick what you're taking with you for the rest of the the journey. Like for me, it's a case of saying, okay, I've made some key progress in these areas. Maybe it would be nice to learn a third language, but that's not the priority right now. And so, as I'm working on keeping up the momentum in the good areas, I'm also paring down where to spend that. Paring down where to spend that sort of stick-to-itiveness and energy. Anyway, sure, across the world, everyone's doing the same, figuring it all out. And my advice and supporting piece of positive platitude is to be gentle with yourself. If you get back from a run and you're beating yourself up because you're not hitting a 6-minute mile, you'll never get there. But if you celebrate the 15, the 14, the 13, the 12-minute, and so on, you'll be celebrating every milestone up until your goal. So that's my piece of advice for today. Mushing up a bunch of personal improvement wisdom into that one little bleh. But speaking of things that are not bleh, we actually have a Q&A from a non-hero, from someone over on the Spotify. Not that you aren't a hero to me, just that you aren't currently a hero of Edera, to my knowledge. Or actually, it might be Val. You might be a hero. Here, sorry, I don't have the list in front of me. Anyway, this is from someone who coincidentally is also named Val, and they asked on the most recent edition of TABTA, will there be any new episodes released? And the answer is yes. Thank you for asking. Right now, I'm working as hard as I can to get season 3, which is the upcoming season, written, recorded, and produced. At the same time as we're getting the season 1 listen along edited and produced as well. The problem is right now that, unfortunately, 7th Valkyrie isn't quite big enough to sustain its own production costs, much less my rent and living expenses. So I've got to work a couple other jobs at other businesses I run and other clients, in addition to 7th Valkyrie. So that's why it's not coming out kind of, consistently, and, because I got to stop and find a way to write all the rest of the season. And that's also part of how my production process works. But anyway, with every new Hero of Etera we get closer to a day where I can dedicate more time to production and maybe get us to the point where by the time we're hitting season 6, 4 and 5 and 6, I can just be writing, back and forth, and we can, only take time to let the anticipation build rather than needing to use that time to produce it. Anyway, so that's a long answer to a short question of will there be more episode? The answer is yes, we will. And shout out to the people who are keeping on the lights and helping fund the series in the meantime. And then also coming out, if you're hungry, we've got the reimagined versions of all the old episodes that are coming out every Wednesday except for this one. So thank you for checking in, Val. We're going to wrap it up there. Anyway, if you guys have a question that you'd like to hear answered, as you can see, I do, in fact, check them and respond to them. But yeah, I'll leave a comment and I'll check next week or before next week. And in the meantime, stay tuned for the upcoming releases Wednesday and Friday. Hero version's already available, and I'll be sending you guys lots of love. Ciao from this wonderful TABTA at the end of a very long day. Cheers, guys.